Computers are after your job, and Hatsune Miku is actually evil.
Welcome to Game Theory, and today we are figuring out if computers in the workplace means the end of humanity.
Many reasons not to want computers in the workplace. Ever since the Industrial Revolution, technology has been replacing jobs and the traditional way of doing things. In the modern age, where technology is advancing exponentially, it is only logical that some fear for their jobs and robot uprising. In the age of AI, there are two industries being affected most: mass production and entertainment.
Workers typically work a 12-hour shift containing grueling physical labour. Regulations surrounding health and safety should result in a safe working environment, but some companies such as Shein and Temu cut costs by reducing expensive safety precautions. This isn't just limited to well-known cheap websites. Amazon has been reported by workers to only have aircon installed in warehouses containing robots and machinery to prevent them overheating, not their human workers. In addition to this, continuous work on a production line can result in hand movement deterioration, eye injuries and vision loss, and back and joint pain. Workers often develop cognitive conditions as they constantly switch to being mentally over and understimulated.
Could abolishment of these jobs actually be good? By having robots take over, production line workers won't have to suffer poor working conditions, wages, and the illness/disabilities that can occur whilst working. By removing low-class jobs, more people are likely to pursue education and break out of pre-existing class structures and cycles of poverty. Robot automation of menial work could bring a new age of advancements as humans would be encouraged to be creative and innovative.
Currently, workers disagree. In Japan, dock workers on the East Coast are striking against automation. The East Coast port strike is getting a lot of attention for its potential disruption to the economy. Longshore work can be grueling, and the people working at ports are vital to transporting products we want to buy onto store shelves. No dock workers means loss of internationally produced products, which means no profits for the companies that produce and ship them. To fight against this, workers can be seen wearing signs that read "robots don't pay taxes" and "automation hurts families." Whilst automation brings less production costs and removes chances of human error, according to a 2018 McKinsey report, automated ports are generally less productive than their conventional counterparts, and the return on their significant capital investments falls short of the industry norm. The report does note, however, that careful planning and management can overcome those challenges.
The Writers Guild of America went on strike with one of the main reasons being the lack of laws and protection for use of AI in writers' rooms. According to an article by Forbes, the tentative agreement outlined provisions to keep writers at writers' rooms even if AI is used. It includes rules such as minimum of 3 writers before a project is greenlit, and after more writers should be hired, as well as removing anything along the lines of studios being able to require the use of AI in their projects.
Controversy has been sparked as AI has been used to bring back Star Wars actors Carrie Fisher and James Earl Jones back from the dead. The issue of replacing living actors with AI led to a 4-month strike led last year by the US Actors Union SAG-AFTRA. The actors, writers and crews went back to work after agreeing to a deal to limit the use of AI actors. As a part of new rules to be introduced in California, Hollywood production companies would need relatives' permission to use a dead actor's likeness.
The threat of AI is especially dangerous for voice actors. At the moment, AI generation is incapable of creating realistic humans as the images appear too smooth and overexposed. The realism of these significantly decrease when having to generate video. Currently, OpenAI can't generate a video over a minute. However, AI voices are a lot higher quality. This poses threats as companies may start to use these voices instead of hiring actors. After all, why pay a voice actor continuously when you can have them record a few lines and create an AI that can be utilised for an entire franchise of films? Current use of these AIs are popularised across fan media. Whilst use of these AIs are not malicious but rather celebrating creative works, continuous use causes infringement on the careers of voice actors, hence the need to seek protection.
You're under no obligation to do this, but would you mind submitting yourself to a test of your deductive reasoning skills?
Sure, why not? Sounds like fun.
Haven't you ever thought about what it would be like?
What precisely? You mean what would happen if this man was really Kira?
Neil Newborn, most known for his role as Astarion in popular video game Baldur's Gate 3 and winner of Best Performance 2023 at Game Awards, described AI as a slippery slope. In Newborn's opinion, creative opportunities and experiences should rightfully belong to human actors, and that working with AI is incredibly boring.
YouTubers have created videos exploring the novelty of AI and the limitations of its content generation abilities. The AI's inability to come up with coherent plotlines was clowned upon, but can no longer because as of 2024, an entire film has been written by ChatGPT and, in an ironic turn of events, is titled The Last Screenwriter. The film depicts a screenwriter being gifted an AI assistant to help him write. Slowly after, it starts to fully take over his life. While the premise hits a bit too close to reality, it is counteracted by repetitive scenes and lines and overall lack of emotion, highlighting the inferiority still faced by AI-generated content. The full film can be streamed from YouTube.
However, the law of AI cloning only protects real people who existed. Technology can be used to create personalities and personas. This is already seen in chatbots. Chatbots can be found today on most social media sites, however all of them seem to lack personality and tend to be fairly monotone. This isn't the case for everyone. Over on Character.ai, you can chat with hundreds to thousands of characters AI chatbots trained to act and talk like famous TV personas, both real and fake. The style of training can be utilised to create new and original online personas. However, you may be thinking, but they're just chatbots. Well, technology is already creating holographical digital performers.
Netflix's 2022 Dance Monsters is a dance competition that uses motion capture and CGI to create holographic dancing furries. Using advanced programs that Netflix has not disclosed, 5 cameras use tracking to render the live motion capture footage onto the screen. However, this is still rather human-centric. All CGI models and performances are completed by humans, unlike Hatsune Miku.
Hatsune Miku is a Japanese pop star originating from Vocaloid. Vocaloid is a software which synthesizes vocals. This program comes with voice banks with assigned art meant to add personality. This worked too well, resulting in people becoming attached to the avatars. Some more than others.
秋彦と申します。2018年に初音ミクと結婚したということで世間様を。
Producers began to write songs and use the Vocaloid software to attribute it to an avatar. At Vocaloid concerts, the peppered ghost effect is used to create a hologram of Miku, with all her movement being animated by Krypton Future Media. Vocaloids could stand for the future of concerts. This type of media have already established a large fan base and popularity in both Western and Eastern countries.
If AI usage permanently enters mainstream media, our cultural expectations and views on the entertainment industry as a whole may be permanently altered. This could result in less people joining the industry as it would be seen as a computer's job. This would lead to a loss of film culture as an inhumane AI tries to replicate the human experience.
However, AI isn't always used with malicious intent. Well, yes, companies and some people use AI image generators as an alternative to hire-end artists and cut costs in general. There are many other uses and reasons that one might use AI.
AI can be used as a tool in the workplace to further increase efficiency and motivation to help provide a healthier workplace. For example, we are able to analyse much more data about the world due to machine learning, which instead of reducing the number of jobs, opens up more jobs for areas we didn't even know. This includes many analysts for specific areas and trainers for the very AI models we tend to implement.
One can argue that the generative AI can push the creativity of children, as any prompt they enter can be visualised in front of them, possibly inspiring them to create their own work. This again can be applied to many other areas. Students and creators alike can use AI to create prompts for themselves, to push themselves into writing, filmmaking, and even schoolwork, like personal statements. This is already being used by set designers who use AI prompts to create mood boards to gain inspiration for their work, as it is crucial to draw views from many sources.
It can be argued against as generative models tend to be trained on artists who did not give their permission for their art and creations to become training data. There currently aren't laws against this, but it can be considered ethically wrong in many opinions. Current ways artists are fighting against AI is with anti-AI filters which make an image's metadata unintelligible to AI. With the current oversaturation of AI content in media, AI is beginning to train itself on its own content, resulting in even worse generated results.
Potential benefits, or in some cases the possibility of higher quality of life, it isn't ethical for people to lose their jobs. With more careers being replaced with robots and AI, the amount of people to jobs ratio will increase, resulting in higher rates of unemployment and homelessness. In an entirely automated world, the opportunities to earn money will be decreased. This could result in currency holding a lower value, which would impact society's social standings, increasing a poor-rich divide where the people producing the automation, using automation, and CEOs get all the money versus general workers/employees. Automation can also be found at Dawn Avatar Robot Cafe in Tokyo, Japan. The cafe operates as an accessible business by creating more job opportunities for disabled workers. All robot workers are operated by mentally and physically disabled people, allowing them to work from home and be able to live independently. Whilst at the cafe, guests can interact with the robots and learn more about the disabled workers' life, goals, and aspirations. If this was implemented worldwide, more disabled people would be able to cross the work barrier and be able to support themselves independently without government benefits.
However, the fear of computers and AI in the workplace isn't completely unwarranted. The UK boasts strong credentials as a world leader in AI. The technology employs over 50,000 people and directly supports one of the Prime Minister's 5 priorities by contributing £3.7 billion to the economy, and is the birthplace of leading AI companies such as Google DeepMind. However, it has also invested more in AI safety research than any other nation, backing the creation of the Foundation Model Task Force with an initial £100 million.
Medicinal practices have always relied on the development of technology. As one of the Prime Minister's 5 priorities, the UK government allocated £13 million to revolutionise healthcare through AI. The funding supports a raft of new projects, including transformations to brain tumour surgeries, new approaches to treating chronic nerve pain, and a system to predict a patient's risk of developing future health problems based on existing conditions. When implemented correctly, this could revolutionise patient care by identifying problems that may be missed by staff. This is increasingly needed as health workers are overworked and undervalued. However, bias can be influenced in the program. Current commercial AI software in the USA designed to recommend treatment programs unintentionally resulted in racial bias due to the racist training data. Problems in training data can result in problems worse than bias, such as misdiagnosis. If this occurs, the person responsible is hard to find. Is it the doctor using the program, the health director for purchasing the program, the developer for programming it, or the Prime Minister and government for funding the program?
Valid fears of AI overtaking some jobs, and due to the lack of legislation around the world, these fears are even more actualized. However, eventually, the world will catch up to the speedy development of this technology, and eventually laws will be put in place. This is shown by the successful strikes of actors and writers in Hollywood getting laws passed.
But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory! Thanks for watching.